Hello, and welcome to the NLWN2 Time Machine. Join me as we take a trip back in time to the 1860s and some vintage baseball on NLWN2.
NLWN2 will now transport you back to the 1860s for some vintage baseball featuring the Menomonie Blue Caps. And now, out to the park for vintage baseball, 1860 style.
This year's vintage baseball tournament, how many years are we at, Doug? What's that, sorry? How many years? 13th anniversary of this wonderful sport. We are playing today a game that is long honored. Rules from 1860 or thereabouts. That means you will not find gloves. You will not find swearing. You will not find bunting, stealing. You will not find anybody talking with disrespect to the umpire. That's me. I am the barrister, and I will be arbitrating this particular match. This is the most perfect.
And with those words, the arbiter, the barrister, introduces the crowd here at Phelan Park in Menomonie to the vintage baseball tournament, and the first game features the Menomonie Blue Caps against the Flat Rock Bear Clan. With me right now bringing you this game is Mike Hayden, otherwise known as, my memory shot,
Known as Smoke.
Smoke, okay. And Smoke is usually a pitcher, but he's not pitching in this first game. And so he's going to give us all the insight as to how this game is different from modern baseball. And we are back here in the 1860s. As the barrister said, I think we're in 1864. And the teams each salute each other. And we are getting very close to being ready to start this first game.
Bear Clan. And for the Menomonie Blue Caps, Mad Dog. Thank you all for coming out to beautiful Phelan Park on this very cool day. Just a couple housekeeping things. We do have concessions. We have raffles and stuff throughout the day in the pavilion. All the funds generated go to a mural project that one of our players is a part of next year. Thank you all for coming. We will be here all day today and all day tomorrow. Again, I am the captain, Mad Dog, and I will let my team introduce themselves. Maverick, Beans, Cowboy, Little Jimmy, Kojak, Taco, String, Kimbo, Whiskey, Stash, the Menomonie Blue Caps. Countdown start. To get our game started properly, I ask you to stand if you are able. Remove your hat and Scott and Wiedemann, Scott Wiedemann entertains us and plays respect to our country with the national anthem.
And now we do have the captains coming up.
Team away, please call it.
This will be determine who is, by modern terms, home and visitor.
Correct.
Tails is the call. It is a tail. And they will take the field. Flat Rock in the field. Blue Caps at the back.
So the Flat Rock Bear Clan has chosen to be the home team in this game. You can tell by the wind in our microphones, it is a breezy day here at Phelan Park. We've had our awning try to blow away a couple different times, but that's not going to stop us. And I didn't mention to you that Dan Petchow is on the camera for us today. And he's doing some emergency taping of his tripod. In this wind, the legs are having a difficult time holding up. But he'll get it fixed. He's got a helper over there. And the Flat Rock Bear Clan is out warming up. And what are some of the differences, Smoke, that we should be looking for in this game?
All right. To start out off, the first thing you'll notice is the pitcher, which is referred to as the hurler. He'll be throwing on underhand.
And we should point out there are no balls and strikes called. You can strike by swinging and missing.
And as you can see, that was an out.
Right.
So one bounce is an out.
And even though it was in foul territory, one bounce is an out.
Correct.
And there's a strike.
So a swing and a miss is a strike. No balls. No called strike.
This is Kojak at the plate. They all go by nicknames. Fly ball out into right center field. It's caught for the out. So 2 outs. And just like modern baseball, it's 3 outs to an inning.
Yep. Outs are referred to as hands dead.
Okay, so there's 2 hands dead. And the first pitch to Mav is just taken, and this one is also just taken. And that one's high, but it's not a ball.
You can basically stand there as long as you want.
There's a fly ball out into center field. That's going to fall in. Mav is going to round first. He's heading over towards second. No, he's going to come back to first. So he took the big turn.
Every once in a while, we're getting old. We need a run.
So who's running for Mav?
So usually the last out.
Okay, so that would be Kojak. And we just got a...
I haven't been called that since I was a teacher.
And that's a fair ball right down the line,
Nope.
I think.
They
Nope.
called that one foul.
From our angle, it looked like it might have been fair, but evidently not.
So the arbiter back there, about all he does is call fair foul.
Well, then he should be good at it.
Yep.
No doubt on this one. It's a fly ball to deep center field. That's past everyone. Rounds first, heading to second. Kojak is rounding third, heading toward the plate. And they got him at home. So, in the top of the first inning for the Blue Caps, they got no aces on one safe hit, and one would have been left on base. So we've played a half an inning, and it's the Blue Caps nothing, and the Flat Rock Bear Clan coming to bat on NLWN 2.
Menomonie Eye Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menomonie Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menomonie Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menomonie, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
And we're back here at Phelan Park for vintage baseball. Going into the bottom of the first inning. And leading things off for the Flat Rock Bear Clan is Cannon. And he hits a line shot down the right field line, and that's fair. He's rounding first, heading towards second. And he's going to check in with a stand-up double. That'll bring up Hammer. Hammer just takes a look at the first one. He likes that one, sends it out towards center field. That's a long ways out there. Out in the deep center field. Cannon rounds third. He's going to score easily. And Hammer checks in at second, so the first ace is recorded by the Flat Rock Bear Clan as he was driven in by Hammer with a double out to center field. That's going to bring up Stash. And a fly ball deep into center field, way back. Does he make the catch? Yeah, it looks like he hung on. So Stash is out. Deep fly to center field and a little bobble, but he hung on.
And as you can see on that, he caught the ball. So the runner would have to tag up like modern day.
Now, if you catch it on the bounce.
If it does bounce, the runner does not have to tag. He doesn't have to go, but he can.
And there's a shot out into left field, and that burned the left fielder. We have Hammer rounding third coming into the plate, and that's Peaches checking into second base.
These fellas, they do swing a good bat.
So the second ace of the game has been scored by the Flat Rock Bear Clan. And this brings up Landfill. I imagine landfill back in the 1860s would have been referred to as dump.
Probably.
There's a fly ball out into left field. That one's also deep. Beyond the left fielder, he caught it on the bounce. But coming around and scoring, illustrating what you just talked about, is Peaches.
Yep, kind of when you know it's going to bounce, you just take off and go.
So he flew out on the bounce to left field. So two hands down. And there's a high pop-up by Scoots. Second baseman lets it fall, and it hit twice, and Scoots is going to make it to first. That bounce that he was counting on just didn't happen. It's going to bring up Dozer.
I think we might have got off.
Oh, you're right. This is Pudge.
No, this is Scoot.
You're right.
Pudge is on first.
Pudge is on first. And Scoots is up.
Yep.
I'm using a different score sheet than what I usually use. And there's a fly ball out into right field heading towards the tree. It's over the tree, over into the playground area. But it's a fair ball. And Scoots is scooting towards home. And it's a home run for Scoots.
Yeah, one thing you can see about the field is that there's no home run fence. So if you're going to hit a home run, you got to run it.
No home run trots in this league.
Nope.
And a deep fly ball to center field, and that's going to fall in. This is Dozer, and he checks into second base. Five aces so far for the Flat Rock Bear Clan. And up steps Ace, trying to drive in an ace. And he watches the first one.
And what we're seeing here is kind of how you have to adjust to each field that you go to play on, because the bounce is always different.
There's a high fly ball to left field underneath, and dropping the ball. So no catches made.
That's what you get when you're competing in a state track tournament for a couple weeks.
Now, does this era of ball distinguish between hits and errors?
No.
And there's a pop-up in the infield that's dropped. So the bases are loaded, and Satchel is at the plate. He watches the first one. And the second. And a fly ball out into left field. Left fielder gets stumbled around, and a couple of aces come in on the double by Satchel. Takes us back to the top of the order. This will be Cannon. And he hits a ground ball to second, throw over to first, and they got him. So, finally, out of the inning, but the Flat Rock Bear Clan pick up 7 runs on a whole mess of hits. And we'll be back with inning number 2 right after this timeout on NLWN 2.
Let NLWN TV take you out to the ball game. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, June 29th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Tilden Tigers in a doubleheader from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Live coverage on NLWN TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 o'clock noon. That's Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on Sunday, June 29th on NLWN TV.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal him from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
And Cowboy hits one out into shallow center field, and it hits a couple times, and he's going to be on with a base hit.
All right. So what you might notice is Cowboy batted again. So the end that first inning, the top of the first, Mav was the runner that was out. Kojak was running for him, but Mav was out the third out at home. So you go by whoever the third out was. So that's why Cowboy was leading back off this inning.
And that's going to bring up Beans. And he fouls that one straight back, and it's caught. So there's one hands down. That's going to bring up Whiskey. And another foul ball, and it's caught. Two hands down. And Mad Dog will step to the plate. Cowboy sitting out there on first. There's a shot foul down the left field line. We say left field line, there aren't really any lines. There's an imaginary line.
Yep. And you'll notice the arbiter called foul. So he won't call fair. If it's fair, you won't hear anything.
Okay.
But you'll hear foul.
And there's a shot. That one's fair. Down the third base line. Third baseman got a hand on it. Throw to third, and they got the out. I think. Wait to see what the arbiter says.
The arbiter won't call it. It's up to the gentleman in the field to call.
Well, my goodness. And they're going to say it's safe.
They decided it's safe.
So Mad Dog singles and puts Cowboy over on third.
So the one thing that'll happen is the gentleman in the field will try calling the out. If they can't decide, then it'll go to the arbiter. If he can't decide, he'll check with the crowd.
Foul ball back into the weeds, and the catcher almost went. He's getting some razzing from his teammates out on the field, going, "Oh, come on, run in there and get it."
One thing you'll learn about this league, you won't get razzed by anybody except your own team.
And now the search has begun. This is where the song "Welcome to the Jungle" would come in handy. But they didn't have that back in the 1860s.
So the one thing they do try to do is the ball they start with, play the entire game with that. So if it gets lost in the woods, that's why guys go in to try to find it.
And I've heard stories about games taking hours of a break while they're trying to find the ball.
It could.
This is Steamboat at bat. And there is a word for that. I saw it here. And there's a strike called. The artist. And he hits a ground ball over towards third. Throw to second is in time for the force play.
So Mad Dog will be the last out. So Steamboat will actually lead off the next inning again.
And so the Mad Dogs, the Blue Caps pick up no runs on a couple of hits, and there were 2 left. And we've played an inning and a half, and it's the Flat Rock Bear Clan 7 and the Blue Caps nothing on NLWN 2.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
Back here at Phelan Park, getting ready to start the bottom of the second inning. Flat Rock Bear Clan at the plate, and the first ball is fouled off into the skate park. That's some kind of newfangled thing here for the 1860s.
It is.
This is Hammer at the plate. He doubled his last time up.
The skate park can make quite an obstacle if you overthrow for first.
Oh, sure.
And the ball ends up in there.
And it's still a live ball.
It's still a live ball.
Now, do foul balls count as strikes?
No, they do not.
Okay. So there's no such thing as a count other than total number of strikes.
Yep, just 3 swinging strikes is the only way you can strike out.
And he caught a foul. And the foul does not have to go high like it does in modern baseball.
You can be caught in the air. It can be a one bounce back to the catcher, a foul tip, and still an out.
They gave a huzzah for that catch.
A huzzah is when you do a good play. It's kind of a cheer.
For celebration.
For celebration, yep.
And the arbiter kind of led that cheer.
Yeah.
There's a fly ball out into right field, right through the tree out there. It's a fair ball. And he's trying to find where it came down out of the tree. And checking in at third with a triple was Stash. That'll bring up Peaches. Peaches doubled his last time up, came around and scored. There's a fly ball out into left field, chasing the left fielder back deep, and he made the catch. Tagging and coming in to score. I don't know if it's an 1860s term, but that's a sacrifice fly by modern days play.
I don't know if they had a term for it back then.
So there are 2 down. 2 hands down, and Landfill comes up. I will bet that's where the term 2 down came from.
Probably.
Landfill at the plate. Fly ball out into center field. He brought him in. He went back, and he caught it.
So on that one, he kind of bobbled it, but his bobble hit the ground once. So that was just a one bounce, and he caught it off the bounce, so it's still an out.
And that's 3 hands down. So we've played 2 innings, and the score is now the Flat Rock Bear Clan 8 and the Blue Caps nothing on NLWN 2.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
The arbiter did us a favor, made sure we got that ad all the way in. And the Blue Caps are up, and the ball lands out in center field. This is little Jimmy.
No,
and
that's Steamboat leading off.
Oh, that's right. Steamboat's leading off.
That quirk in the last
because
out.
he did not make the last out.
Right.
So Steamboat chugs into first. Now little Jimmy comes to the plate. If I'm not mistaken, he's the left fielder.
No, I believe he's playing right field.
Okay.
I think String Bean is out.
Oh, yeah. One of those younger guys.
Yeah.
He lines one out into left center field and is going to check in at first. So, 2 runners on base for the Blue Caps. And that's going to bring up Taco. I know, Dan, you're getting hungry up there when I mention that. Fly ball out into right field, and it burned the right fielder. He has to turn around and give chase. 1 run rounding third. And another one rounding third. The throw coming into the plate, and he's going to score. So give String a double. And he drove in a couple of aces with Steamboat coming in or check that was Taco with the double.
Added one on.
Oh, and we have Stash coming up now. And
had a little grounder there, an infield grounder, and he made her to first.
No, they are not bringing in members of ZZ Top. Now we're to String. And he hits one over towards second. Throw to second for 1. So Stash is out.
Taco scores.
3 aces this half inning as String checks in at first. And that should bring up Kojak. That one's fouled at the plate. A fly ball out into right field, moves over, makes the catch. That's the second time he's fouled out to right. And that'll bring up Mav. And it's a ground ball over to third. Throw to second, and he didn't hang on to the ball. So, everybody's safe.
One thing you'll notice when Mav was running to first there, he overran first. They could tag him out. There is no overruns.
Okay. And it's none of this, if you turn to the right, you're okay.
No,
it's none of that.
If you cross it, you're live.
There's a fly ball that's out into center field, and the catch is made to end the half inning. So, for the Blue Caps, they picked up 3 aces on 5 hits. And there were I think there were 2 left on base. Yep. At any rate, we have 2.5 innings in, and it's the Flat Rock Bear Clan 8 and the Blue Caps 3 on NLWN TV.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
So we're going to go into the bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And this should be Pudge at the plate. Actually, it's not a plate. It's a bit of sawdust down on the ground.
Well, there is an actual steel plate laying there.
Okay. And a pop foul caught by the first baseman.
I'm sure in 1860 was maybe a wood or
kitchen plate.
Maybe a kitchen plate.
And the pitch. That was just watched. And that one is just watched by Scoots. And there's a fly ball right field. Way back over there, down the berm, and rounding third is Scoots as he's scooting in towards third base, and he's going to check in there. Well, Scoots has had a pretty good day so far because he hit a home run and he hit a triple. That's going to bring up Dozer. And he watches that first pitch. And there's a high fly ball out into left field. He's under it, and he dropped the ball. And that'll score an ace as Dozer is on with a single. One hands down. Runner on first, 1 run in. This is Ace at the plate. Fly ball out into left field. He's back. He made, I think that was on 1 bounce.
I believe it did bounce once.
And that's what they called. He was out on the bounce. Dozer is at second. And that'll bring up Drafter. And Drafter hits it out into center field. He goes over and he makes the catch for the 3rd out. So 1 run on 1 hit. 2 hits. 1 run on 2 hits. And after 3 innings of play, it's the Flat Rock Bear Clan 9 and the Menomonie Blue Caps 3 on NLWN 2.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
Don't forget that coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the Chippewa Valley Museum would like to welcome you to a Schmegelmelch Speakeasy at the Schmegelmelch House on South Farwell Street, so you enjoy a drink in the Schmegelmelch Gardens. Whoever wrote this put that name in too many times. So find your way to the Speakeasy, but only if you provide the right password. Period attire is encouraged, and there is a $10 cover charge, which includes your first beverage. That's all being put on by the Chippewa Valley Museum. As we head into the top of the fourth inning, Beans will be stepping to the plate.
I believe we have an injury timeout right now they're attending to. And
oh, maybe a water break?
Yeah.
It is a warm day. It's not as bad as what we thought it was going to be. Now Beans steps in. Hits a ground ball over towards the shortstop, scoops it up, throws it to first. It's wide of the mark. Beans rounds first as the ball went past and is going to check in at second. That's going to bring up Whiskey. Whiskey fouled out to the catcher his last time up. And he foul tipped that one and almost got snagged by the catcher. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field, back, and one-handed catch. A spectacular one-handed catch. That might get a huzzah.
It deserves one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last time I officiated a game and this man was playing, he had 3 swinging strikes, threw his bat away in disgust, was fined 2 bits, and failed to pay me. It's up to 4 bits now.
Now there's justice.
So you hear the term 2 bits. 2 bits would have amounted to a quarter.
That's a quarter, yes. And that's because they used to chip off 2 bits of a dollar or silver dollar.
Yep. So if you're caught by the arbiter swearing, spitting, it's supposed to be sweating, but they let that one slide.
On a day like this, that's a good thing. This is Mad Dog, ground ball to third, throw over to first. They tag him out.
So if you're caught doing any of those offenses, it's a 2-bit fine.
So he's got a $50 that he owes.
Yep. You're supposed to pay before you play anymore.
And a foul ball, and I think that was on the backside of the swing.
Yeah.
He swung, the bat came all the way around and hit the ball on the backside. Nonetheless, I think they might have counted that as a strike because he swung and missed before he fouled it. Doesn't matter. There's a shot out into left field. No, he caught it. I thought that was going to hit the second time, but a diving catch out there in left field. And that's 3 down, so no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And we have played 3.5, and it's 9-3 in favor of the Flat Rock Bear Clan.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
We're going to head into the bottom half of the fourth inning. Satchel is due to the plate. And the first pitch to Satchel. He watches that one. So who's doing the pitching right now for the Blue Caps?
Beans is doing the pitching.
And there's a fly ball out into left field, and he did make the catch on the bounce. That on the bounce rule does give guys a second chance, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, Beans is pitching. Usually he's at first, but
and it's kind of important to understand that nobody's wearing gloves.
No gloves.
As your shirt says,
Yep.
No gloves.
Sometimes them hard shots, everybody realizes they have to work on Monday. And
that was a foul ball down the first baseline. Breeze once again trying to blow our awning away. And it has just come down on top of us. And there's a foul ball. As long as we can see, we're okay. And there's a fly ball out towards left field, moving over, making the catch on the bounce for Cannon. That's 2 hands down.
Thank you.
And there's a swinging strike. This is Hammer at the plate. He's doubled and then fouled out to the catcher. Line shot out into right field. That's going over into the spectators. He jumps over the caution tape. It's over in the freshly planted grass as Hammer around second. And he's going to chug into third.
As you can see out there in right, the one obstacle that tree has also is the throw back in.
And not to mention the spectators that are under the shade of the tree.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring up Stash. And a fly ball, well, ground ball out into right field. The right fielder had to come around the spectators to get it. And Stash is going to check in at second. As Hammer came in to score. That'll bring up Peaches. Last time up, Peaches did what's the equivalent of a sacrifice fly to left. There's another fly ball to left. Moving over and can't make the play on the bounce, but they call it foul.
So one thing you'll notice on that foul ball is the runner has to get back. Because it can be a force out at second on a foul ball, but the ball has to come back through the pitcher before it goes to second. The pitcher can go cover second, but it is a force out coming back.
There's a pop foul over towards the scoreboard, and the catcher can't hang on. So Peaches stays alive with 2 hands down. ground ball over to third. Long throw over to first. It's wide of the mark. And Peaches is in safely at first. Stash heads over to third. Runners are on the corners, and Landfill is at the plate. He flew out on the bounce to left and flew out to center. Now he's going to right, and it's in foul territory. I think we're going to take this down as soon as we get a chance here. The awning has basically collapsed on the left side. And that's the side I thought was secure. Landfill at the plate. And there's a fly ball out into right center field. That's going to roll out beyond the fielders. One run is in. And checking in at third is Peaches as Landfill gets a double. So that makes it 11-3. Flat Rock Bear Clan on top. And this is Pudge. And he hits a ground ball over to third. Throw over to first is wide of the mark. And the bases are going to end up loaded. They are loaded for Scoots, who hit a home run and has tripled. And there's a fly ball out into right field. Right fielder back, it's up off the berm. One ace is in. Two aces are in. And Scoots checks in with a double.
This Bear Clan team is sure figuring out the obstacles in right field and using them to their advantage.
I don't know if they kept track of any such thing back in the 1860s. There's a fly ball to center field for the final out of the inning. So, 4 runs for the Bear Clan, and that puts them on top. Is it 12 or? Well, let's see, 8. 12, 13-3 as we head to the top of the 5th on NLWN TV.
NLWN2 invites you to join us in our time machine and journey back to the 1860s for some vintage baseball with the Menomonie Blue Caps. Our next broadcast will be on Monday, July 7th, as the Blue Caps will be in action from Liberty Fest in Chautauqua, Wisconsin. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. That's Vintage Baseball, Monday, July 7th, on NLWN2.
And we are back here at Phelan Park. Flat Rock Bear Clan kind of taking it to the Menomonie Blue Caps this morning, as they are on top of the Blue Caps, 13-3. Due up for the Blue Caps is little Jimmy, but you were saying something about...
He might be out.
Looks like...
I think this is Taco up.
Now, what is the ruling then? Is he an out or a hands out?
No, they'll just take him out of the lineup.
And so Taco hits a shot out into right field through the hands of the right fielder, and he's going to check in at first. And
so this is String.
This is String because Stash just left the game as well.
Yep. Stash might have to go play with a different team on the other field.
So rosters at this vintage are pretty fluid.
Pretty fluid.
Stash hits a short little looper out towards short, and nobody can make... Well, maybe.
I think they did get
They
him.
got the force out at second. So technically, String is on a fielder's choice. Not that they kept track of that.
They didn't keep track of that.
Kojak at the plate. Twice has flown out to right field. Throw to second is in time. Throw to first. They can't quite turn the double play. So there's two down, and Mav comes to the plate. He has singled twice, hits a fly ball out of the left, and that one's caught. So in the top of the fifth, no runs, no hit, one hit, no errors, and one left. We've played 4.5, and it's the Bear Clan 13, Blue Caps 3 on NLWN TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Phelan Park. And there's a shot out into left field, and that's going to be foul.
Yep.
This is Ace at the plate. He singled and then flew out on the bounce to left field. And the search is on over in the woods for the ball.
One of the obstacles the park just took out was along that left field line. There were 3 trees that were out towards the field farther. They always played an interesting obstacle because wherever the ball lands is fair, where it's called fair or foul.
So the arbiter trying to stay cool on a day like this.
Yeah. So they're saying with those 3 trees out there, a lot of times the ball would hit those trees and in foul territory and bounce fair, and it'd be ruled a fair ball.
Sure. Yeah, you were telling me a story about someone that hit a tree that used to exist over in right field. There's a one that's heading towards the tree in right field, and it's off the roof of the Or I think it landed just short of the pavilion.
I think it landed in the pavilion.
I think you're right, and I think amongst all the souvenirs and concessions, he's having a hard time finding it.
Might have a little hot dog juice on it.
So Ace checks in at third.
Yeah, I was telling you a story about a ball that landed in a tree, and the fellows that climbed up the tree to get the ball, once they retrieved the ball, the runner was out. But it took so long to retrieve the ball, the runner had made it all the way around and technically scored a home run, but was called out because the ball was picked up on the one bounce.
And there's a foul down into the skate park. And had the wind blown the ball out of the tree, it would have been a home run, but because the guy climbed the tree and got the ball, he was out.
Correct.
So it's where the ball makes contact with the ground or with the person standing on the ground.
Correct.
And that brings to mind what could be the longest home run in Major League history. Andy Pafko, a Boyceville, Wisconsin native, was playing a game in Boston, and he hit a home run. And home runs are measured by where the ball stops. And his home run landed in a car of a passing freight train and didn't stop till it got to New York. There's another foul ball down the right side. So I would say that's pretty much going to be the longest home run.
Yeah.
Drafter is at the plate. And there's a hard shot to first, and he's going to make the tag. And actually a pretty smart play because that held the runner at third. That should bring up Satchel. He doubled and flew out on the bounce to left field. There's one hands down. There's another fly ball to left field. Looks like it's in foul territory. He heads over and couldn't quite make the catch on the bounce. And there's a shot out into left field. One ace is going to score. Satchel checks in at first. That makes it 14-3. Do they have anything like a 10-run rule?
No.
Okay. And a ground ball foul. That'll wake up a few of the spectators sitting along the berm here.
Sometimes they refer to a blowout as they just scored more runs than us.
There's nothing wrong with that description.
Leave it at that.
This is Cannon at the plate. He's watched a couple go by. And the pitch. Ground ball to short. Flip to second for one. Over to first. And he almost had him as he reached beyond the base. And an ace did come in and score on that. Oh, no, I take it back. That was the put out. Got to read my own writing here. So Cannon's at first, and Hammer's at the plate. There's a fly ball out into right center field. They can't make the catch on the bounce. And Cannon rounds and comes in to score. Throw to second, and that got Hammer in the head. Hammer got hammered on that one. So, Hammer getting a razzing from some of the spectators. And there's a fly ball. It is 15-3, by the way. And that's way out there. The ball is coming in. He's rounding third, heading for the plate, and that's going to be a home run. A 2-run home run for Stash. Makes it 17-3. And that'll bring up Peaches. Peaches is doubled and singled and also hit a sacrifice fly. And there's a shot, fair ball down the third base line. Peaches checks in at first. And that should bring up Landfill.
So one thing you can notice as the game's gone along, there hasn't been any stealing. So the way we play, there's no stealing.
And there's a high fly ball out into center field, drifting over, and makes a catch on the bounce. It went through his hands on the first catch, but he made it on the bounce. And that's the second.
No,
third.
That was third out.
That's right. There was that force out. So we have 4 runs came in that inning. And it's 17-3 on NLWN 2.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Back here at Phelan Park, some of the Blue Caps hamming it up a little for the camera. As the Blue Caps come to the plate to start the 6th inning, Cowboy Beans and Whiskey are due up. The Cowboy hits a short pop-up in the infield. Coming in as the third baseman, he makes the catch.
No, that's one thing about this baseball that you'll notice. I mean, we're losing, what did you say, 17-3, somewhere in that ballpark. We're out here having fun. That's what it's all meant to be, and everybody comes out and has a good time.
That's what it's all about.
That was a foul tip for an out by Beans.
And that'll bring up Whiskey with 2 hands down. He also fouled out to the catcher and then flew out to center field. There's a fly ball out into right, circling under it and making the catch. So, the Blue Caps go down in order 1, 2, 3, and it's still 17-3 on NLWN TV, or NLWN 2.
Menomonie Eye Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menomonie Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menomonie Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menomonie, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
So we're going into the bottom of the 6th inning, 17-3. The Flat Rock Bear Clan have the lead. They're out of Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
There's a fly ball out into left center field and caught on the bounce for Pudge. This should bring up Scoots. Scoots, if he singles, will hit for the cycle. He's homered, tripled, and doubled. And there's a fly ball out into right field and making the catch on the bounce. That's going to bring up Dozer. You know, another difference is when the umpire in modern baseball goes wandering off, the game stops. Here the arbiter is just wandering off to go get some more water or something.
The barrister plays a good critical role in our game because he goes to the crowd, explains rules.
And there's a shot out into right field that ends up as a triple for Dozer.
Everything's supposed to be a gentleman's game in this, so the players, for the most part, can call their own game.
You know, we were able to do that as kids without any trouble at all. Funny how that changes as you grow up.
Yep.
Ace is at the plate.
Follow tip. On 2.
So, 3 hands down and no runs scored. It's 17-3. Flat Rock Bear Clan leading the Blue Caps on NLWN 2.
Let NLWN TV take you out to the ball game. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, June 29th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Tilden Tigers in a doubleheader from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Live coverage on NLWN TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 o'clock noon. That's Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on Sunday, June 29th on NLWN TV.
And don't forget, that's coming up next Sunday. Cavaliers in a doubleheader against the Tilden Tigers. We'll have that on our sister station, NLWN TV. At the plate for the Blue Caps is Mad Dog. He'll be followed by Steamboat, and then I believe Taco, unless little Jimmy's ready to come back in. There's a fly ball, foul territory, lands and is foul. The barrister not there to make the call, but everybody kind of agreed. And the pitch. That's a ground ball over to short. Throw over to first, and they can't hang on to the ball. So Mad Dog is safe at first. That's going to bring up Steamboat. He watches the first one. And there's a fly ball out towards left field, and they make the catch on the bounce in foul territory. So Taco is at the plate. And a foul tip to the catcher. So 2 hands down. String is at the plate. Has a fly ball out to right center field. That one lands and rolls. String rounds first. He's heading to second. And he's going to check in there and has to hang on to the bag. As Mad Dog gets over to third.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice with everybody being nicknames, I don't know how other teams do it for sure, but our team...
There's a ground ball over to first. Flip to the pitcher covering, but didn't hit the target. 1 ace is in. And Kojak is safe at first. String is at third as Mad Dog came in to score, so that makes it 17-4.
So the way our team does it, you either come up with your own nickname by the end of your first game, or the team will assign you one.
And oh boy, you don't want that to happen.
You do not want that to happen.
Mav is at the plate. He's watched 3 go by now. In many respects, this is a lot like what Sandlot ball was like for us as kids. High pop up to short, coming in, making the catch. So 3 hands down, but the Blue Caps do pick up a run in the score after 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch that hadn't been invented yet, but that's okay. On NLWN 2.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
And we're back here at Phelan Park. Hey, I do want to remind you that Chippewa Valley Museum, and there's a fly ball, there's line shot to first, and
wait and see what they rule that.
Yeah, they're having a discussion.
So I believe they ruled that a fair ball.
Fair ball. I think he touched it fair and then fell foul.
Well, being it hit fair, it does not have to make it past the bag to be a fair ball.
Okay.
So as long as that ball hits anywhere fair to start with, it's a fair ball.
And that's Drafter who went out
I believe
to the first baseman. Long fly ball out into left center field, and Satchel is over at second base. That should bring up Cannon back to the top of the order. With 1 hands down. There's a line shot foul into the skate park. As I was starting to tell you, Chippewa Valley Museum is participating in the National Blue Star Museums program, which is presented through the National Endowment for the Arts and Blue Star Families. Through Blue Star Museum, active duty military personnel, including National Guard and Reserves, and their families receive free admission at the Chippewa Valley Museum. And now the ball comes back into play. Chasing it through that skate park could be interesting because it goes up and down and around those ramps.
And it's not the best traction for cleats either.
Oh, I imagine. And that's a swing and a miss. And that one just missed. He didn't like it. And Cannon watches another one. Runner on second, and there's a shot foul down the third base line. And the barrister is kind of heading back this way and about to resume his duties behind the plate.
You see how seriously I take all of this, right?
I can tell.
Yeah.
And there's a fly ball out in towards left field, foul territory, and off into the jungle. Yeah, you got things to get control of down there.
They're rowdy. I mean, it can be hazardous to be a barrister, to be an arbiter in these kind of games.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
He's a pretty fierce guy.
And there's a fly ball right field, foul territory, and it's going to land foul.
Have fun, guys. You're going to play it all today?
And Cannon still at the plate. And there's a pop-up foul back. Oh, man, that's right in the middle of the swamp, I think.
That might be a new ball.
It's back behind the high brush short tree. New ball came in. Somebody's going to go back there and try to look for it, but I think they're going to watch out for gators back there.
They might find more golf balls than baseballs back there.
Well, don't say that too loud. Dan will go looking. Now there's a ground ball. Throw over to first in time. So, Cannon grounds out short to first. That's going to bring up Hammer. He did advance the runner over to third. There's a high pop-up, foul territory, and the catcher can't quite get to it. He had to run around the bench. At least the ball didn't go too far into the swamp. There's a couple guys from the Flat Rock Bear Clan that are back there looking for the ball. I wonder if we'll ever hear from them again. And the pitch is low, so he watched that one go by. This is still Hammer at the plate. And there's a shot out into left field for a base hit. That's going to score a run. That makes it 18-4. And Stash comes to the plate. And a ground ball, throw over to first, and it's too high. And Hammer chugs into third. And Stash is safe at first. That'll bring up Peaches. Fly ball out into left field, back a long ways. He drops the ball, and everybody's going to be safe, including Hammer, who comes in to score. 19 to 4. That's a long single for Peaches. Brings up Landfill. And he watches another. Batters can be pretty selective.
They can.
And he didn't like that one. There's a ground ball to short, throw over to second, and it got through the hand. And so now the bases are loaded with Pudge coming to the plate. Ground ball down the third base line. It's a fair ball, and everybody advances a base. That makes it 20 to 4. And that'll bring up Scoots. Still a single shy of the cycle. There's a foul ball going back and not able to get there. Made a good effort. And there's a shot into the hands of the second baseman who was playing deep. And that's the third hands down. So 3 more runs for the Flat Rock Bear Clan, and it's 20 to 4 as we've completed 7 innings on NLWN TV.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
So with the score 20 to 4, no such thing as a mercy rule here in vintage baseball. That hadn't been invented yet. And for the Blue Caps, due up, we have Cowboy Beans and Whiskey. And I didn't see what happened there. Did he get hit by the ball?
Ball or the bat might have.
And while they tend to him, we're going to take this time out on NLWN TV.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
And we're back here at Phelan Park. The injury was to the player. The ball caught him right in the chin, kind of split his chin open. And with the game pretty well one-sided, they have decided to call this one. So the final score will be the Flat Rock Bear Clan 20 and the Blue Caps 4.
At the end of every game here, the captains will usually do an announcement and a thank you and give a cheer.
And Mad Dog was the one who was injured, and so they get some pizzazz. And now the Blue Caps. Game for the Menomonie Blue Caps today, and we will have the second game coming up for you in just a little bit. And Mike, are we going to have you on board for that one?
I'm not sure yet. With the injuries,
you may be drafted into playing.
I might have to play, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, if you have to play, we'll do as best we can. Right. I think we're going to take down this awning so it doesn't keep collapsing on my head. And then we will get ready. And I don't have the schedule with me. Who is the next? It's at 2 o'clock. I know that much.
I believe we play the La Crescent Applejacks.
The Applejacks out of La Crescent. All right. We will be looking for that in Game 2, and we'll have that for you right here on NLWN 2 right after this timeout. You're tuned to Vintage Baseball on NLWN 2.
Don't go away. We'll have more Blue Caps baseball coming your way on NLWN 2 right after this timeout.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
NLWN2 invites you to join us in our time machine and journey back to the 1860s for some vintage baseball with the Menomonie Blue Caps. Our next broadcast will be on Monday, July 7th, as the Blue Caps will be in action from Liberty Fest in Chetek, Wisconsin. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. That's Vintage Baseball, Monday, July 7th, on NLWN2.
And welcome back to Phelan Park. And back to the 1860s and vintage baseball here in Menomonie as the Menomonie Blue Caps are getting ready to take on the La Crescent Applejacks. The Blue Caps were victims in their first game today by a score of 20-4 to the Flat Rock Bear Clan, and the the Applejacks were victims to that same Flat Rock Bear Clan team by a score of 30-3. The Blue Caps, nothing.
Menomonie Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menomonie Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menomonie Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menomonie, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
And we're back here at Phelan Park. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow bringing you all the action of this Vintage Baseball Festival at Phelan Park. Blue Caps coming to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Sting will lead things off, Kojak will follow, and Mav will be after him. And they're still getting some warm-up tosses. And the pitch. Sting lets that one go. And he lets that one go. There's a short fly ball out into right field coming in, and they can't make the catch on the bounce. So Sting has a base hit. That'll bring up Kojak. And he watches that one. And he hits a shot out into center field. Dropped. And everybody's safe. Center fielder had it go through his hands and down to his feet and hopped a couple times on the ground. So Kojak is safe at first, Sting is at second, and Mav is at the plate. He watches one. And he watches another one. So we don't call it a batter in vintage baseball. He's the striker. It's kind of a term from cricket. And Mav sends one out into right field. It was caught on the bounce. Runner coming around, and the Blue Caps put a run on, or put an ace on the board. So that's one away. One hands down. And Cowboy is at the plate. He's the striker. Kojak's at second. And he watches another one. The breeze has picked up again all of a sudden. Cowboy being selective. And there's a shot out in towards center field, and that one's caught. And Kojak is going to stay where he is. So, 2 hands down, brings up Whiskey. And he hits a fly ball out into right center field. And that's caught out there by the right fielder. So, the Blue Caps pick up 1 run on a pair of hits and 1 left on base. So, we've played 1 full inning, and it's the Blue Caps 1 and the Applejacks 1 on NLWN 2.
Let NLWN TV take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, June 29th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Tilden Tigers in a doubleheader from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Live coverage on NLWN TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 o'clock noon. That's Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on Sunday, June 29th on NLWN TV.
And we're getting ready to get things started in the top of the second inning. Due up for the Applejacks, we have Kraken and Hefty and Stash. This is Kraken at the plate. He hits a fly ball out into center field. Center fielder's under it, and he makes a catch. This will bring up Hefty. One hand's down in the top of the second. And he hits a line shot out into left field. And Hefty is safe at first. That's going to bring up Stash. Stash on loan from the Blue Caps to the Applejacks. And he hits one out into left field, which was caught on the bounce. So there's 2 down. And Big Wheeze comes to the plate. Hefty is on second. And a swing and a miss. And a shot out into left field, and he's safe at first. It bounced twice. Stash was running for him. And takes us back to the top of the order. Cannon at the plate. That's a fly ball out into left field. Left fielder moves over, and he can't make the catch. It's a fair ball. 1 run comes in. So that Hefty came in to score. And Stash is over on second, running for Big Wheeze. Cannon on first. And a bounder over to short. Throw to third in time. So Big Wheeze is out going over to third, or Stash is out going over to third. And so there was one run on 3 hits. And 2 were left on base. So we've played an inning and a half, and it's the Applejacks 2 and the Blue Caps 1 on NLWN TV.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
Starting the bottom half of the second inning, due up for the Blue Caps are Beans, Smoke, and Taco. Beans looked at the first pitch. And he looks at another one. And that one was a little bit too deep. And there's a shot out into left field. Beans is going to round first. He's going to hold right there. But the Blue Caps have a runner on to start things off in the second inning. That's going to bring up Smoke. And Smoke is going to have a courtesy runner running for him. He bats cross-handed. That's what Babe Ruth did to start things. Oh, he switched spots. He started out as a righty, now he's batting lefty. You never know what Smoke's got in his plan. And there's a ground ball towards short. And looks like everybody's going to be safe. I think that's Whiskey running for him. Taco at the plate. And that pitch is a little bit deep. 2 runners on for the Blue Caps. And he hits a shot out into center field. Runner comes around third, and an ace gets scored. Beans comes in to score. Whiskey checks in at second, Taco at first. I saw that little bit of trickery that you did there at home plate there, Smoke.
Yeah, it's one thing that for the rules, you could switch sides where you're batting anytime during the pitch.
I saw you going up there what would have been cross-handed, and I was wondering if something like that might be coming.
The pitcher actually caught me on it. He's the first pitcher to catch me that when I do that.
There's a fly ball out into center field, and they make the catch.
What am I trying to do when I do that?
That was little Jimmy, by the way.
It was. When I switch sides, I try to get the pitcher to stop pitching, which is a balk.
Yeah.
And in 1860, the runner didn't, or the base runners didn't get the base, but the batter would also get the base. So you get a free first base out of it.
Okay. And it was really the only walk that you could get.
Correct.
So Sting is at the plate. He singled his first time up. He came around and scored. Lines one out into center field. Runner rounds third, and he's heading toward the plate. That's Whiskey coming in to score. I believe that was Whiskey running for you, wasn't it?
Yep.
See, I listened to you in that first game and got the rules right. And now on second is Taco, as Sting got the single. 2 aces this inning for the Blue Caps. Kojak steps to the plate. He swings at a high one, sends it rolling out into right field, and the bases are going to be loaded.
I was just telling Dan, instead of running up here to be on the mic, I should have just been mic'd up in the dugout like the modern players.
Well, if we had wireless mics, we could have done that. Mav at the plate, fouled out on the bounce to right field. Grounds one to third, step on third for one. But an ace does come in to score. So Mav gets on a fielder's choice. And Sting is out at third as Taco came in to score. Kojak goes over to second. And Cowboy is at the plate.
I see Mad Dog is back from his journey to the hospital. He's back in the dugout down there.
Oh, yeah, I see him down there.
Gotta prove how tough he is.
I'll believe how tough he is when I see him put on the shirt and get ready to come in and play. Cowboy's still looking at it and making sure it's a good one. Still waiting for a pitch that he wants to hit. This is a different pitcher than was in the first inning now for the Applejacks.
Yep, they'll switch it up a little bit.
I think it was just pitcher-catcher switch spots.
Yep.
And there's a shot out into left field, and it's caught on the line drive by the shortstop. Nice play by the shortstop that time. And so, Smoke has to go get back out on the mound, and we had 3 runs for the Blue Caps, and they have taken a 4-1 lead, a 4-2 lead over the Applejacks on NLWN 2.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Back here at Phelan Park, they just gave a round of huzzas for Mad Dog, who's back from the hospital. Applejacks at the plate. Cannon will be the batter. And he hits a ground ball over to third. Throw to first. It's in time. Maybe it's not in time. I guess they're going to say he's safe. That's going to bring up Teo Buck. And there's a ground ball over to short. Gets through into center field. And everybody's going to be safe. Mickey is at the plate. And Mickey takes a look at one. And the pitch. There's a fly ball out into right field. Runners are on the move. Cannon rounding third, heading toward the plate. And he comes in with an ace. As Mickey gets the single to right. Teo Buck is on second. And it brings to the plate Roman. There's a fly ball out into right field. Fielded on the bounce. So Roman is out. 2 runners advance. So there's 1 hands down. Weasel at the plate. And the wind is picking up again. There's a looper out into center field, and it's fielded on the bounce. 1 run comes in, 2nd run rounds third, and he decides to go back. So Teo Buck scores the ace. Mickey stays at third, and Weasel is out on bounce to center field. Kraken is at the plate. The Applejacks have tied the game at 4. And there's a fly ball. And it's going to be out into center field for a base hit. And there's no play at second. So Mickey comes in to score, gives the Applejacks the lead. Hefty steps up. He golfs one out into center field. Five to 4. Applejacks on top. Stosh hits it out into right field. Can't be handled by the right fielder. Rounding third. And coming toward the plate is Kraken. Or check that. Yes. That was Kraken coming to the plate. And Stosh is on with a base hit. Six to 4 now. The Applejacks on top. 9th hitter of the inning for the Applejacks is Big Wheeze. And Weasel will be running for him. And he swings and misses. There's a line shot out into left field. And now the bases are loaded. As Hefty goes over to third, Stosh goes to second, and Weasel, who's running for Big Wheeze, is at first. So we've batted around. Cannon back at the plate. Singled when he started the inning. There's a fly ball out towards left field, out into the woods out there. So they're going to have to go search for it. Stash goes out into the woods. And evidently they called new ball, and they'll go dig for that one later. Cannon still at the plate. Smoke delivers. Swing and a miss by Cannon. And he hits a ground ball over to short. Toss to third for the out. So, the Applejacks pick up 4 runs, take a 6-4 lead as we're going to go to the bottom of the third on NLWN 2.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Look at several different things to do with how gentlemanly like a person is, how well they do, how much they help out with things, and that person's always our picked MVP, and we always do a prize at the end of the year. 2 years ago, we had a gentleman who won that award who couldn't be at our party, and we tend to procrastinate things a little bit, so we have a gentleman that isn't officially a player, but he takes the most outstanding photographs for our team, and the whole team voted that, John, you are our MVP.
So the MVP award goes to the photographer, Don, and they're giving him a bat, and they're going to get a picture taken of the Blue Caps with him. So, leading things off for the Blue Caps in the bottom of the third inning, we have Whiskey, to be followed by Beans and Smoke. Blue Caps trailing by 2. And waiting for players to get back in position for the Applejacks. They went out and took another look for the baseball that got lost out there in the woods. Now Whiskey is at the plate. Stash is on the mound now for the Applejacks. Or he's at the line, I should say. Whiskey sends it out to center field for a base hit. Ball just died as soon as it got out into the center field grass. That's going to bring up Beans, who singled his last time up. Stash delivers. Oh, he's going to watch that one too. And there's a shot out at left center field. And making the catch is Cannon out there for the first hands down of the inning. That's going to bring Smoke to the plate. See what kind of trickery he has up his sleeve this time. This time he is stepping in as a left-hander. And he hits a ground ball over towards second. Bobbled at second, and then the toss to second gets away, and runner goes over to third, and he's safe. Cowboy was running for Smoke, and he ends up at second. As Whiskey, or check that was probably Beans running for Smoke. Whiskey's on third. Taco at the plate. That one's inside. Taco backs off. Stash has the ball. Stash. He delivers. There's a shot over towards second. Bobbled a little bit. Fired to first in time. But one ace does come in to score as Whiskey came across. And Beans is over on third. 2 down. Little Jimmy at the plate. He hits a ground ball over to second and is fielded on one hop, and he is out. And so, the Blue Caps do pick up a run, making the score Applejack 6, Blue Caps 5 on NLWN 2.
NLWN2 invites you to join us in our time machine and journey back to the 1860s for some vintage baseball with the Menomonie Blue Caps. Our next broadcast will be on Monday, July 7th, as the Blue Caps will be in action from Liberty Fest in Chetek, Wisconsin. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. That's Vintage Baseball, Monday, July 7th, on NLWN2.
And due up for the Applejacks is Big Wheeze. And he was out on a foul ball. So Cannon steps to the plate. Cannon on loan from the Flat Rock Bear Clan, and he hits one foul. Smoke delivers. Cannon lets that one go by. No balls or strikes are called as such. That didn't happen for another 4 years. We're playing by 1860 rules, and balls were not added until 1864. Heads up! That one was heading right for Dan. And Dan, you again don't have your glove. Of course, there's no gloves here.
Good point. I couldn't use it anyway.
There's a fly ball out into left field. Takes it on one hop. And Cannon is retired. 2 down, 2 hands down. T.O. Buck steps to the plate. And he hits a pop-up into the infield. And caught on the bounce to retire the side. So the Applejacks pick up no runs that half inning, but they still have a 6-4 lead on NLWN 2.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
So we're back here at Phelan Park. Smoke is working his way up here. And we are just about ready to get things going. Another pitcher on the mound for the Applejacks. Due up for the Blue Caps, it should be Sting, Kojak, and Mav. Oh, String. Yeah. String, okay. And the ground ball over to short, and they're not even going to make that play.
Maybe so you call him Sting.
Say that again. I didn't have your mic on.
Maybe we should just keep calling him Sting.
Well, he's got a 3-hit day going.
Yeah.
That's going to bring up Kojak. He's got 2 hits on the day. Hits a pop-up foul territory, and that's caught. So 1 hands down. Mav comes to the plate. Mav is 0 for 2. I've noticed that runners are allowed to take a little bit of a lead off.
Yeah, it's technically supposed to be 1 step, but it's usually 2 or 3.
Mav is being selective.
So when the runners are leading off, we can pick them off. Or attempt to. It's very hard.
There's a pop-up. Pitcher's under it. He makes the catch. No play at first. So Cowboy comes to the plate. He watches the first one go by. And the second one go by. And there is a long shot out into left field. Got the left fielder running as the base runners are. String rounds third. He's going to score the ace to tie the game. As Cowboy laces a triple out to left field. And that'll bring Whiskey to the plate. Sounds like a bar.
Yeah. Whiskey, beans, and smoke.
There you go.
Not a bad lineup.
And the ball was caught. It looked to me like he dropped it, but all of a sudden he caught it. So, the Blue Caps do pick up a run and have tied the game at 6 apiece on NLWN 2.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
And so we're going to head into the 5th inning. Due up for the La Crescent Applejacks, we have Mickey, Roman, and Weasel. Mickey is 1 for 2. He singled and came around and scored. And he hits that one foul, and nobody's going to be able to get it. It's fair ball. It wasn't foul. It was a fair ball. So Mickey is safe at first. That's going to bring up Roman. Smoke delivers. And there's a ground ball over towards short. Throw to second is in time. So Roman's on and Mickey is out at second. We've got Weasel coming to the plate. And a high pop-up. Shortstop's back, makes the catch. So 2 hands down. That's going to bring up Kraken. Roman on first. And there's a shot. Stopped by the shortstop. Throw to second, and they got him. So Roman is put out, and that means that Kraken should lead off the next inning. So, no runs that inning for the Applejacks, and we're still tied at 6 after 4.5 innings on NLWN 2.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Phelan Park for the Vintage Baseball Festival. Menomonie Blue Caps and the La Crescent Applejacks all knotted up at 6. As we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, Bean, Smoke, and Taco. Bean sends one over towards short, throw over to first, and it's not in time. Just a little bit off the mark. That's going to bring up Smoke. Looks like Whiskey should be running for him. And he hits a soft liner foul down the third base line. Maybe not. Nope, that was fair. He just placed it in fair territory. It was close. That's going to bring up Taco. There's a ground ball to first. Takes it himself, and nobody covering second. So we've got Beans at third, Whiskey at second. Taco is out, and Little Jimmy comes to the plate with one away. And he looks at another one. And the pitch is not what he liked. Hits that one over to third. Long throw over to first, and they got him there. But coming in to score the ace and give the Blue Caps a lead is Beans. So Little Jimmy's out 5-3, but he does drive in a run, and Whiskey heads over to third. Takes us back to the top of the order. String is at the plate. He hits one out into left field. So Whiskey's gonna come in. And String is safe at first. Two hands down, Kojak at the plate. There's a fly ball out into right field. Almost got it on the hop, but they didn't. And they throw it, the ball gets kind of loose coming in, and whoa! And now they've got him in a bit of a rundown. And they're chasing him back, and they make the tag. So String is out in the rundown, which means Kojak will be the person to lead things off next inning. But the Blue Caps take a 2-run lead by scoring a couple and lead it 8-6 over the La Crescent Applejacks on NLWN TV, or no, NLWN 2.
Menomonie Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menomonie Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menomonie Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menomonie, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
Back here at Phelan Park where the Blue Caps have just opened up a 2-run lead, and a ground ball over to short, throw over to first, and it hit the runner. That rule had been eliminated by the 1860s. Back in the 1840s and 50s, you could hit the runner with the ball and get him out. That was Kraken getting safely to first. Hefty comes to the plate. There's a fly ball out into center field. Center fielder's there, makes the catch. Now, it says Stash, but I think we have a different person coming in here. And a pop-up, and it's caught. So this should bring up Big Wheeze. That wasn't Big Wheeze hitting that, I don't think. Yes, Big Wheeze is up and heading toward the plate now. And now we have some discussion going on. So there's a new hitter coming in. Swing and a miss. And that one's fouled back and caught, I think. Yes. It was just out of my line of vision. Dan was on it. So, no runs for the Applejacks, and it's still 8-6 for the Blue Caps, as we're going to head into the bottom of the 6th inning on NLWN 2.
Let NLWN TV take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday, June 29th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Tilden Tigers in a doubleheader from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Live coverage on NLWN TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 o'clock noon. That's Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on Sunday, June 29th on NLWN TV.
And it appears as though this one is all over. It's a hot day, and some of these guys just are not built for the heat. And so this game is all wrapped up with the Menomonie Blue Caps coming out on top, 8-6. And we'll get the closing ceremonies right here.
Okay, guys, home plate was better. Let's go back over there. Yeah. We're along the foul line. You should like that. I'm in the wrong spot. How do I get over here? I was in the captain's spot.
All right, after much consideration, we've decided to give them the win.
We decided to accept the victory.
Yep.
Thank you, Flat Rock, for helping them out. Mama, put your ears, so thank you. Umpire. Let's do 3 cheers. Hip, hip!
And the typical 1860s post-game festivities are taken care of. So we've had quite the day of vintage baseball here on NLWN2, featuring the Menomonie Blue Caps. In Game 1, the Blue Caps were defeated by the Flat Rock Bear Clan by a score of 20-4, and they also sustained some minor injuries in that game, with Mad Dog getting popped in the chin with a loose bat. Needed a couple stitches, but he has survived that and made an appearance back here. And then in game 2, the Blue Caps came away 8-6 victors over the La Crescent Applejacks. So, for Dan Petchow on the camera, and we want to thank Mike Hayden, otherwise known as Smoke, for his help in our game today. We want to thank you for joining us, and we will be back here on NLWN2 with more vintage baseball action from Liberty Fest in Chetek. We will have that coverage for you on July 7th, so make sure you pay attention to that. So this is Rick Olson. Final score in this second game. Again, Menomonie Blue Caps 8 and the La Crescent Applejacks 6. You've been tuned to Vintage Baseball on NLWN2.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
Thank you for joining us for Vintage Baseball, 1860s style. On NLWN2 featuring the Menomonie Blue Caps. We now return you back to the present time.
Let me take you back to a time so bright, where the game of baseball danced in the light. In the 1860s, under the sun's warm glow, the Blue Caps were cruising, oh what a show. With their caps of blue, they took to the field, swinging wooden bats, no gloves to shield. The crowd was a-roaring, they cheered with delight. Baseball in glory, what a charming sight. With a pop and a crack, the ball took to the sky. Boys in their knickers, running wild, oh my, oh my. Let's take a trip in our time machine to see the game in its purest scene. Waves of nostalgia flowing like wine, swinging with the Blue Caps, oh what a time.